Hey everyone, thank you for stopping by my channel today. I am going to review and compare the Anastasia Brow Wiz with the newly released NYX Micro Brow Pencil. And at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about my top 3 brow tips that I have learned over the years, which I have found very useful and would love to pass along to you. So if you want to hear what I think about the Anastasia Brow Wiz and the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, then let's get started. So the Anastasia Brow Wiz has been on the market for quite a while right now. Seems like it's been forever because it is so amazingly popular. The NYX Micro Brow Pencil has been recently released and it is ridiculously hard to find. A lot of the stores that sell NYX have not yet even introduced it into their display, and even the stores that have introduced it into their display are completely sold out of it when you get there. And so it's been pretty hard to get a hold of. I was finally able to grab it from the Ulta website, which was initially sold out. I had a backup though. I could have gotten it from the NYX website, but I was really interested in trying to get it from Ulta, which I ultimately did, and now it seems to be readily available there, but it was hard to find. Alright, so let's break these babies down. First I'm going to start with how they're similar, because there are some similarities. To start off with, they look exactly the same. I'm just going to hold them up to each other against my hand. They look exactly the same. They even have the little stripey at the top and at the bottom too. The little stripey. Hello. They're approximately the same diameter. If you couldn't see and you went to grab one, you would have no idea which one you were getting. They both have a spoolie on the end, which are ridiculously amazing as well. It's so awesome to have a spoolie handy when you are doing your eyebrows. I usually use the spoolie to first comb my eyebrows into place, apply the pencil, and then recomb, because that is the most awesome way to blend in. It's like crease blending when you're applying eyeshadow. That's how you blend in your eyebrow pencil, by using the spoolie. How is it even possible that they look exactly the same? Isn't there like a patent kind of thing? And it seems a little bit bold to make your packaging kind of exactly the same. Or did the patent or something run out? I don't even know how that works. But I love NYX, but why did you make it look exactly the same? Is that allowed? It must be allowed because they do it. And in this case, they did it. So I don't know. I can't explain it. I have no idea how that works. Both eyebrow pencils, thankfully, are waxy in nature. And that's really important when it comes to finding a really good eyebrow pencil. If the pencil itself is too creamy, you run the risk of looking like Charlie Chaplin, because you will then be drawing on very, very thick, very prominent lines into your current eyebrows, where they sit right now. You need it to be a little bit waxy because you don't want it to be so soft that it over dispenses product on your eyebrow, because that's not a good look in any way. So some other eyebrow pencils on the market are they're too smooth, they're too creamy. Like, for example, you never want to use an eyeliner pencil on your eyebrow. That just spells disaster, because again, you're just gonna wind up overdrawing your eyebrows. It's like you can't even help it because the pencil doesn't allow you to do what you needed to do. So both of these pencils are waxy in nature, which means you kind of have to work them a little bit in order to deposit the color. But what's good about it is you wind up depositing very fine strokes. Nothing too thick, nothing too over obnoxious when it comes to your eyebrows. Your eyebrows should not be the first thing that people see when you walk up to them. Your eyebrows should just look natural and filled in, perhaps a little bit more dramatic, but you don't want your eyebrows to be the #1 greeter when you walk up to someone. The NYX Micro Brow Pencil has 8 different shades to choose from. The Anastasia Brow Wiz has 9 different shades to choose from, so that's pretty comparable. You'll get a wide selection instead of just light, medium, dark, and black. And so that's really good. I appreciate when there's a good selection of color, because you really want to come close to picking the appropriate color for your eyebrow, because that could also be a disaster if you're not on point with that. I happen to get both of them in taupe. Not because I just said, oh, let me just get the ones that are the same name, but those appeared to be the ones that were closest to the color I was looking for. And they matched pretty good. They were, pretty similar. They are different, but, they're both light enough in color. So it wound up working out really well. They were what I expected them to be. So, the pencils themselves appear to be pretty true to their color, both of them. So how are they different? Well, they're different in two major ways. Starting with price. The NYX pencil is 10 bucks. The Anastasia Brow Wiz is about $21. So basically twice the price for, I mean, I didn't read the, I don't think I could read how much product you get, but it's not like one pencil could put way more product in than the other pencil. They're in the same exact casing. So let's assume that they are a comparable size. The Anastasia is twice as much. The other difference is that the NYX pencil is harder to work with. I think it's because the NYX pencil is actually waxier than the Anastasia. So the Anastasia, although it's kind of waxy based, has this level of creaminess and fluidity to it that allows you to gracefully mimic eyebrow hairs and apply them yourselves manually. The NYX pencil is definitely harder to work with. I think you could make it work if you put the time in. And if that doesn't matter to you, then that's okay. And then that's great. And then you can save the money. But the question is, what do you have? Do you have time or money? And so my recommendation is if you've got room in your budget, and your eyebrows are a very important feature on your face when you're doing your makeup in the morning or in the afternoon, if you've got the money to invest in the Anastasia, I actually do recommend going for the Anastasia. By nature, I've said before, I'm very cheap. But I do think you should put the investment when it is warranted. I don't have a lot of time. My eyebrows take me enough time as it is. So I don't have a lot of extra time to spend working with the NYX pencil to make sure that it appears natural. And so it is not my preference to have the pencil that is less money. I would rather have the one that I feel more comfortable using, especially if you're unskilled when it comes to doing your brows. Invest in the Anastasia Brow Wiz, which is a little bit more expensive. It will be much easier and take you much less time versus the NYX where you can save a couple bucks, but you still will have to work at it and you run the risk of having eyebrows that come out not looking quite as natural. But it's 2 for 1 basically when you buy the NYX, and so if you can deal with it and you can get it to work for you and you get comfortable having it work for you, then go for it. But my preference is the Anastasia. Let me give you 3 of my favorite brow tips that I have learned over the years. Doing my brows was actually one of the last pieces that I incorporated into my beauty routine because I was gratefully born with pretty decent brows. But as I got into makeup and cosmetics more, I realized I wanted to address my brows as well. And I could not believe the difference actually. I wonder how I went all those years without actually doing my brows because apparently they needed it. Because I just think they wind up looking so much more refined, and they just wind up going with your look much better. So I did a lot of research on how to do your brows and I found 3 really, really helpful tips. And then also I kind of learned stuff along the way. My first tip has to do with color. Basically, when you are trying to select an eyebrow color for yourself, look at the color of your eyebrows and go like 3 shades lighter, 2 to 3 shades lighter, which seems weird, right? But when you apply an eyebrow pencil that actually matches the color of your eyebrows, again, you run the risk of looking like Charlie Chaplin. It's too much, it's too dense, and it doesn't look natural. So I actually had started with the color of my eyebrows and looked scary quite a number of times because it was just too much. And so I went to shade lighter. And I tried that out and I still had brows that were too much. And I think ultimately I went 1 more shade lighter. I don't think 2 more, but I think 1 more shade lighter. And it's ironic to me that I use a pencil called taupe because I feel like I've got pretty dark eyebrows, but when I fill them in, because I've got somewhat full eyebrows, when I fill them in, I need that lighter color so that it doesn't wind up being too much. My next tip has to do with technique. So when you're using a pencil, when you're applying color to your brow and you're trying to fill in, you don't want to have the pencil like directly at you. You know, you don't want it pointed directly, squarely, 90 degrees at your eyebrow. You want to put it at an angle. This will reduce and control the amount of pressure that you apply to your eyebrow and the amount of color. Because again, the less pressure and the less color you apply, it allows you to build and also make sure that you ultimately wind up with a very natural looking brow versus something that looks like it was drawn on by crayon or marker. So always take the pencil and put it at an angle, and you'll do soft, kind of feathery strokes at that point. My last tip I actually learned by watching YouTube, and a number of people have said it. Every time I hear it, it makes me laugh. You want your eyebrows to be sisters, not twins. Isn't that genius? Your eyes are not the same shape or size necessarily exactly. Both sides of your face are not 100% symmetrical. If you try to make your eyebrows 100% symmetrical, it's unnatural. That's not the way our faces are made. And so you just have to be really careful that you make them look similar to each other, but not exactly the same, which thank goodness, because that has to be quite a chore trying to make them look exactly the same. So remember, sisters, not twins. So that just about sums up my eyebrow discussion for the day. If you enjoy videos like this where I review and compare different products, then please give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. Let me know what your favorite brow technique or brow pencil or brow powder or pomade. Oh my gosh, we could talk about brows for hours. Talk to me about your brows in the comments section below. I would definitely look forward to reading those. Again, thank you so much for stopping by and sharing your time with me. I do hope you have a good rest of the day, and in the meantime, thanks.
That's so awesome that I was just recording and there was no microphone. Awesome. With the newly released, that is a foghorn. Really? I happen to live close to the harbor. But she's usually no blow at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Usually she's a blow at like 5 a.m. Is she gonna blow again? It's one of those things I'm gonna start to talk and I'm gonna be like, bugger. Take 17. I have to sneeze. Wow, that was an ugly sneeze. You know how there's like the ugly cry? That had to be the ugly sneeze. Oh, especially with this nose right here. Look out. If you happen to have brown, what the hell is brown?